Hello, my name is Noah Sutter, and I'm interviewing for a position as residential assistant. Here are 5 things I'm going to talk about to let you guys get to know a little more about me. First thing I'm going to talk about is this purple and gold banner. This banner is for my fraternity, Phi Sigma Pi. For me, Phi Sigma Pi represents my experience as a leader. Phi Sigma Phi is an honors fraternity. It is 1/3 social, 1/3 leadership, and 1/3 service. When I was in high school, I spent all 4 years on the student council, and when I was a junior, I got nominated for the National Honor Society, and I was inducted. Also, when I was a junior, my peers nominated me and voted me in to be the class president of my class, and I was in bands, and the band director chose me to be the section leader of my section for 2 different years. And most recently, my leadership experience is still going on. I am holding several positions on executive boards of the various RSOs I am in here at Central. The second thing I'm going to talk about is this. This is the Trivia Crack icon, that little trivia app. It's pretty straightforward. I love trivia. I was in Quiz Bowl in high school for 4 years as a varsity member. I love playing chess and just other strategy games. I just really love and enjoy playing them. They're just so much fun to me, just having to think and strategize. It's just my cup of tea. I absolutely love it. And I would say that it represents my curiosity and my willingness to do research and always just learn about more subjects and just try and always get smarter. The third thing I will be talking about is the Flying C, Central Michigan's Flying C. I would say this represents my ability to make tough decisions. I live out of state. I'm from Ohio, and I've always dreamed of going to Ohio State when I was a child. And up until I was a senior in high school and it got to the point applying to colleges, it seemed so easy. Apply to Ohio State, I got in, I'm like, that's where I'm gonna go. But then I started researching Central Michigan, and I found that they have an extremely top-notch education program. And I ultimately ended up deciding that I would be better prepared for my future if I were to come here. And I can't say it's a decision I've ever regret. I absolutely love it here. I'm getting an amazing education so far. I cannot wait to get started in my career as a teacher. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is this. Specifically, this is a WWE Kids Toy Replica belt. I'm really proud of this one. This one represents my creativity. So last year I created a game with a couple of my friends, and the basic purpose of it is the winner of the game got possession of a physical title of this. Essentially, everyone got one challenge a day. They had to challenge the current title holder, but they could be any game that they challenged them to. And no game could be repeated in a day. As long as it was a game where there was a winner, it was on the table. It seemed silly, but people got into it. Like, our group of 3 or 4 people turned into almost 20 who still actively are seeking out and challenging us for the title. It's so much fun. It just gives us fun to look forward to. It gets us hanging out and talking to each other. I'm really proud of it, like I said. I'm not saying this would work for like an entire floor being like an activity an entire floor could do, but it shows creativity, and something similar would definitely be fun to experiment with. And if you're curious, yes, I am the current title holder. I plan to defend it for a while. The last thing I will be talking about is this, the fleur-de-lis. It's not here because I'm a New Orleans Saints fan. I root for the Bengals, but the fleur-de-lis is here because I was a Boy Scout. Specifically, I was an Eagle Scout. I was told to flex that as much as I can during any interview, so I'm doing it. But in the Boy Scouts, I've held several leadership positions during my time, and I've accumulated hundreds of community service hours. I've worked several years on staff at Camp Berry, which is a Boy Scout camp near my town that I went to as a scout for 4 years, and like I said, I worked several years on there. I worked there because I loved giving back to the people that had given so much to me in scouting. It was a great experience, and I would love to go back and work there someday over the summer. But Being on staff there got me several trainings like CPR certification and harassment prevention. During my time there, I served several years as a troop guide, and tell me if this sounds familiar. I'm in charge of a group of people. I checked in periodically to make sure everything was running smooth, and I keep them informed of any camp activities going on, and I was the communication line if there were any issues. So my favorite part of it was that we had totems for meals. Every meal we ate at a different table with a different group, and it was random, completely random. What it was is scouts would grab a totem that represented a staff member that they had no idea which one it was, and we would go and look for our totem, and we would go and sit down with that group. So every meal I ate with a different group of people, completely different troop, different people that I didn't know, and we ate meals together. We got to know each other, we introduced ourselves, and talked for an entire meal. It's a great way to bond. I loved it. And so you got comfortable real fast talking to strangers and getting to know people. I have so much more I would love to talk about, and I cannot wait to have an in-person interview to get to know you guys. But until then, I will say my biggest goal for what I'm looking to gain from this experience. My biggest goal with this experience is I'm looking to grow as a person, and I feel that the duties that I complete as an RA will be helpful for preparing me for my future career as a teacher. Thank you so much for considering me for a position as a residential assistant.